Hello, my name is Janne Kauhanen. I'm the host and sauna majori of Cybersecurity Sauna. Today's episode was recorded live on site at our Cybersecurity Sauna booth at the Sphere 22 security event in Helsinki. We had an opportunity to talk to some of the guests and speakers at the event. I'm joined now by Simone Giertz, the world's premier expert on useless machine invention. Is that correct?
I don't know if I can say that about myself, but I'm honored to be considered one.
Perfect. You know, what is that? Why invent useless machines?
I mean, I started off building things on YouTube as a way to learn about electronics. So I was really interested in robotics and in programming, and those are pretty daunting things to try to learn.
Sure.
So for me, like, kind of taking the burden off of myself to have to build useful things and kind of approaching it in a more playful way was really helpful. And also I just thought it was really fun and it made for great internet content. So I kind of just built a bunch of, as I call them, shitty robots. So there's stuff like an alarm clock that wakes me up by slapping me in the face with a plastic hand, and
I've seen that video.
Yeah, and a proud parent machine, so you can feed it 25 cents and it pats you on the shoulder and says proud of you. So there's stuff I think engineering often lacks that sense of levity.
Yeah.
And that was the best way for me to approach it, at least.
Okay, but those they do actually do something, so they're not completely useless.
No, I mean, they're very good at being useless. So that's a purpose in itself. So Are they even useless?
There you go.
Don't even know.
But I understand that the mindset was that you wanted it to be more about the journey than the destination.
I don't know if that's... I mean, I guess to some extent, for those, they were kind of the creation of them were the purpose of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I had any plans for them beyond building them and posting them on the internet. They were never like, oh, I'm going to start selling these, or I'm going to tour the world and make a useless machine show. So yeah, I guess the journey was the destination.
Okay. But I understand you're sort of moving away from the uselessness a little bit. Is that true?
I mean, yeah, it's still a part of what I'm doing. And I think I'm bringing that sense of levity with me.
Sure.
But I started more focusing on product design and like solving, like the mantra for what I've been doing now is like unique solutions to everyday problems. So I'm finding these like little everyday problems, and then I solve them in a way that I haven't really seen them solved before. And in some way that's very similar to what I was doing with shitty robots, because then it was like I was trying to find these like everyday problems, which is like, I have a hard time, I don't like brushing my teeth, or I don't like waking up in the morning. And then I would solve it in the most extravagant way I could. And now I'm still handling those problems, but I'm trying to solve them in more thoughtful ways. So the process for me personally doesn't feel that different, but the outcome is very different.
Yeah. And you're still quite happy to be associated with the uselessness.
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of it, and it's I mean, I'm still right now I'm working on a music instrument that pops bubble wrap. So it's like it's still a part of what I'm doing, and definitely was such an important part of my like chapter of my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't refer to myself as the queen of shitty robots anymore, though. But that era
enough.
feels over.
But that's something that a lot of people know you by, and I'm sure you've inspired so many people. Have you met any of these people that you've inspired? Do you get approached a lot?
I mean, sometimes, but not. It's very. I mean, it depends on where I am in the world.
Right.
If I'm in San Francisco, because a lot of it is like engineers.
Right.
And then you can get approached a fair amount. But if I go to like any of the YouTube events where there's mostly like a lot of 13-year-olds that are screaming, they're like, who the heck is she? And I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met people who've built something really cool along the same lines that you did, and you're like, oh, that's so cool?
I mean, I did an online class that people can take. So it's like a 30-day class. And there I've seen a lot of really cool projects come out of that. So no, I'm definitely seeing a lot of it in like some of the products that I've made. I've seen people make their own versions of it, which is really fun. Like that's something like thinking that you were a part of somebody coming up with an idea or a part of an inspiration is really flattering and fun. But also I can't take credit for any of that. It's all them.
Yeah. So what is it like to work with people on something that is, as you say, useless? Is the collaboration different than when you're sort of very focused on building something that serves a purpose?
I mean, I think if I'm building something useless, then it's mostly for the YouTube video. So a lot of it is just being like, hi, people taking photos. A lot of it is just making it good enough for camera. And sometimes I'm like, oh, if I was actually doing this as something that I wanted to use in my everyday life, then I would have to have a much higher standard. So now when I'm building things that I want to use every day, and I'm collaborating a lot more with other people because I want to be more thoughtful in the problem solving. And also because I've in the beginning of my job, I wanted to really put in every screw myself because I never wanted anyone to doubt that I had done everything.
Right.
And now when I've established myself a little bit more and I feel more confident in my own skill, that I'm actually able to collaborate more with people, which almost sounds backwards from what you think it would be.
Yeah.
But it's like I love working with other people and learning from other people and seeing how they would solve these problems and being able to take on more complex projects.
Yeah. Is it easy for other people to sort of comprehend what you're trying to accomplish here, or do you feel you have to sort of explain yourself quite a bit?
I used to feel like it was harder, because people would be like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's fun. And the mantra I had was always like, if I find the things I'm doing interesting, there are probably other people who do too.
Makes
so
sense.
I was like, I think this is dope and I think this is really fun and I really want to see where this goes. And I think that means that other people might think that. So in the beginning, it was really hard to explain myself to other people. And then when I was working in more regular jobs, I remember it was really easy to have your ideas shot down. But now it's like people expect me to do weird things. So I don't really have to, I almost more have to explain myself, like wanting to build useful things. And people are like, why? Like, why do you want to do that now? And it's almost the opposite of the problem that I had before, where it was like, why do you want to build useless things?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, security industry, we like to take ourselves very seriously. But do you think there's like a role in building useless things in security?
I think it's all about staying motivated for me and still loving the tools that you're working with.
Yeah.
Because what I see a lot of engineers or people who are using engineering tools for very serious things is that it does sometimes take some of the joy out of it for them. And I think building useless things and kind of having a lot of levity in the process can be a way to still be motivated to want to learn more and to fall back in love with why you wanted to do it in the first place.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, I think there's definitely a part of that. But then, I mean, of course, it's it is a very serious job. But I think that doesn't necessarily mean that there can't be more fun components to it and more fun elements and where you get to apply some of the skills you have to do whatever you want.
Do you have any ideas for any sort of security related useless builds you'd like to do? I'm putting you on the spot here. So
no, this is I have had years of practice to do this. I mean, I remember that I built a security Santa for my workshop, which was this big Santa statue that had a safety camera or security camera in it. Yeah. But that's not really fun. I mean, I'm thinking of a system that tracks what's happening in your home, but then if a certain occurrence happens, some action happens. So if you're like, okay, I want to stop smoking, for example, and if it sees you smoke, cue something happening. The sprinklers turn on. I don't know, whatever. I would think something like that would probably be what I would do. Yeah. So, or it's you could connect your home security and the camera to your Roomba or to your robotic vacuum or something and have them collaborate in some different way so you could control it through, I don't know.
I don't know if this is useless, but could we have a system where whenever you enter a bad password into a password field, your internet gets disconnected for an hour?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do this, we'll take it away.
Yeah, no, I think that, I mean, if there was anything that could limit me doom scrolling, like that's something I've been wanting to know. Like, I wish that there was a way for me to know not how many hours I spent on my phone every day, but how many meters I've scrolled.
Yeah.
So have that stat, because sometimes you're just scrolling and I'm like, how many meters am I getting through that? And that's information I'd want to have, data I'd want to have, but that would be really tricky to acquire without like jailbreaking your phone. So if anyone wants that idea, it's all yours.
Could we connect that to your treadmill or something, so that you now have to run the equal distance?
I was thinking that I wish I had a TikTok treadmill.
Yeah.
So I had to run on the treadmill to scroll on TikTok, because then at least I'd get something useful out of it.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So now that you're moving to collaborate with people, is there like a person in the world that you would absolutely love to collaborate with on your things?
I don't know.
No dreams.
I mean, there are some like filmmakers that I would love to collaborate with. And I would love to there are certain people I would love to do a TV show with, but there's not like an artist where I'm like, oh, I wish I could build something with them. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work with Lego, which has been really like, I feel like I'm making 7-year-old me very proud.
Yeah.
And they have kind of been dream collaborators. But yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll think about it.
All right. Yeah. Sorry for putting you on the spot like that.
No. It's a good thing to like write down and then try to make it happen. But I can't. I feel like I've gotten to collaborate with so many people I really wanted to collaborate with. So I guess I'm running out.
Running out of
very
people.
Humble.
There we go.
I'm running out of people I want to work with.
Hey, but this talk has been far from useless. So thank you very much for having some time for us and joining us here in Cyber Sauna.
Thank you so much. And I'm very relieved that it's not a warm sauna. I'm telling you, the temperature is perfect.
We wouldn't do that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was our show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in.